My name is Dahlia Varela over here at Union Street Media. Welcome to my home. I think I'm going to give people another minute or so before we get started, but thank you all for joining the webinar. Hey, Chris.
Hi, Dahlia.
We've got a couple of people who have joined the webinar. I'm going to wait probably another 30 or so seconds before we get started.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah. And I know we've been doing everything virtual, and we did our first webinar just this Tuesday. But I'm now realizing that I still have my Christmas lights up. So for anybody who's joined, welcome to my house. I've got Christmas lights that are still up, and everything else looks clean because you can pretty much just see the ceiling.
That's right. I think we're all making those adjustments.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to go ahead. It's 2:01. For those who just joined, I'm Dahlia Varela. I am a digital success specialist here at Union Street Media. That means I am a main point of contact for some of our clients. I can answer a variety of questions here. I can help out with a variety of items. Anything from how many users came to my website last month to how to add an agent, which we'll be doing today. So there's a lot that I can help with, big or small, along with our other digital success specialists at USM. I've also got Chris Seidner, our customer success manager, my boss, who is joining as a panelist today. Awesome. Chris, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, give a quick intro before I take over and go through all of the things we're going through today.
Thanks, Dahlia. First off, Dahlia and I just want to thank everyone for coming to join today's webinar. We're really excited by the opportunity to share some insights with you. A little background, the training session is a follow-up to a blog post that our founder, Ted Adler, wrote pretty quickly, as folks were, learning of the coronavirus, been sort of using the NBA, pausing the season, colleges and universities asking students to stay home for spring break, and families starting to adjust, working from home and having school children at home as well. So as a lot of the remote concepts started, we wanted to take a look at the opportunity at how to improve your website, do some of the work that we've wanted to do, potentially cross some items off your list. So it's a really good time to focus and concentrate on the website. Certainly we're all adjusting to the new meeting schedule, trying to do more video, being in touch with everyone, but really, it's a good opportunity now to do some of the work that we wanted to do. So Dahlia and I are here to run through some of those top items. The blog post was about the five things you can do during the COVID-19 winter. So we'll be looking at items to work throughout the webinar. In addition to the blog post, Ted's also been thinking in sort of the concept of, like, if orders are down, you have the opportunity to either shut the factory down or you have the opportunity to retool the factory. So we'd like to start helping everyone retool today.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dahlia.
Thank you. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Chris, will you let me know if you can see my screen right now?
I can, Dahlia. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So what you all are seeing here is the back end of my personal real estate website called Dahlia Test Site. One quick note that I want to make here, depending on your permission levels for your account, you may see some things that you aren't able to see on your end. I have manager level permissions, so on my end, I'll be able to see the clients tab, listings, so on and so forth. If you have agent level permissions, and depending on the exact level permissions you have, you may be seeing other things. So I just want everybody that's joined to keep that in mind. The first item on Ted's blog of what you can be doing during this slowdown period is updating the recommended searches on your website. So I've got my website pulled up here, and you're going to see at the bottom of my screen all of the recommended searches that I created. I've only got 2. That's not too awesome, and this is an opportunity for me to add a few more. So I gave it some thought about what people in my service area are interested in. I'm in Burlington, Vermont, so one thing I wanted to add is a by town category search. Let me take this back a little bit. Why are recommended searches important? They're a really great way, one, to showcase listings in your area and also your knowledge of the area. If it's anything from a recommended search about condos, or maybe a recommended search about a particular neighborhood in your area, it's just a great place for you to showcase listings and showcase your knowledge about whatever the recommended search may be. Second of all, and the more technical reason for this being important, is that across all of our websites, what we notice is that most users, when they land on a website, are actually landing on a recommended search. So they are landing on a search with listings with some information. They're not landing necessarily on your homepage or maybe on your agent's page. They're coming directly to these pages because of the way they're searching. So people are searching for Burlington condos for sale, or maybe they're looking for Colchester homes for sale. So we want to make sure that you have that information available on your website. Recommended search is the best way to do that. So going back a little bit, I haven't done a great job of adding recommended searches to my website. So the recommended search I've decided to add is a Colchester search. So in the back end of my website, I'm going to go to the Searches tab. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a new category. I'm going to give this a by town, or search by town, sorry. Search by town is going to be my category name. I'm going to give it a quick description. And I'm going to fill out this SEO tab as well. This search SEO stands for search engine optimization. This is available throughout the website. Anything from a recommended search page to the recommended search category page to your agent profile to listings specifically. It is important to fill out the title override. Title override is also referred to as a title tag. So if I use that interchangeably, know that I'm referring to this over here. What's a title override? I am going to do women's shoes. Wow, I can't spell. For sale. This here is a title override or a title tag. This here is a meta description. These are really important ways to give or let Google know, or whichever search browser you're using, what is on your page. The goal of a title override is to provide a quick summary of what is on the page, what information is contained there, and to also include your brand name. So going back to the back end of the website, I'm going to give this a search by town. That's what is going to be on this page, and the name of my company, Dahlia Test Site. Search listings by town. I'm not going to worry about the search meta description format. What I really want you all to focus on is the title override field and meta description. We're also going to send a follow-up email with more information. So if you have any outstanding questions about these two fields, don't worry, there's a guide coming your way. So now that I've created my search by town category, I'm going to click in here and I'm going to create a new search. Based on real estate trends here, I've decided to create a Colchester search, and I did all of my research. I searched a couple of websites and I wrote some custom intro content here. And as an example of what this is going to look like, sorry, my Wi-Fi is being a little bit slow here. All right, I'm gonna keep on going. But your intro content is really useful for anybody going to your website so that they can get a better sense of what is on the page, information in terms of the Colchester search, information for about what's available, things to do. It's just a quick opportunity for you to showcase your area knowledge. So I have already written that. A quick 3 to 5 sentences is all you really need. And now that we've got this, so here we go. My example finally showed up. My recommended search here doesn't include any intro content, which is a big no-no. I want people to come to my website and understand what they're looking at, a quick information, a couple of links so that they can continue their journey throughout my website. So I've done that. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. And one thing I want to remind people to do is to remove any formatting that you may have done elsewhere. If you're working out of a Word document or maybe a Google Doc like I am, we want to make sure to remove any formatting and kind of do the formatting within the back end of the website, just so that all the styling remains consistent with the rest of your website. So I chose to include links to the town of Colchester. And the reason why I'm linking to other websites is to give users, one, to help with search engine optimization, but also to showcase my knowledge, my connections to my area. Link building is a great way to improve SEO, to improve the organic authority of your website. And the reason being is that it kind of gives search browsers a signal that your website and the websites you're referring traffic to, that you are trustworthy. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my links, highlight the relevant text. Things are really moving a little bit slowly here, so I apologize.
While that loads, Dahlia, I might just comment the rec searches, as Dahlia indicated, there can really be powerful pages. You have the opportunity to add content to the top of the search as we're doing now. So search engines, as they comb the page, they know exactly what the page is about. And in this case, it's about the area of Colchester and real estate there. But it also has the listings that are being pulled in on a daily basis. So the page is dynamic. It always has new content being updated and removed. So that's another signal to the search engines that this is a page that has relevant content and it's also being updated on a regular basis.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So what I've done here is paste the URL, and most importantly, I'm going to update the target tab here. And I want to select a new window. And the reason being that we don't want to send people away from your website. If I don't update the target tab, when anybody clicks on this link here, it's going to take them immediately to the Town of Colchester website instead of opening up a new window. If I'm including a link to another page within my website, you don't have to upload the target. So I'm going to go ahead and bold that to make it a little bit more obvious. And I'm going to award-winning schools. There we go. This is working a little bit faster. And then the last one I included was a link to my Contact Us page, including links to your Contact Us, to your Our Agents page is going to be really key, just so that anybody that's on your website can quickly reference or reference your team or contact you. So.
Definitely. These pages are great pages to be able to help people to navigate your site quickly. Meaning that if we know that someone's interested in Colchester single family homes, we want to pull those single family homes together quickly to allow users to access them quickly, similar to the search that was Burlington condos. We're taking the town of Burlington and we're pulling in the condos, and we know that people want to search for that. A lot of the link building that we're doing here as well helps people, that information, outside sources, and so we have links, as Dahlia said, going out, and then we're also building internal links. We're helping people navigate throughout the site. So we're getting people to look at listings, which is a big plus, and then we're getting people to contact you and sign up on your website, which is obviously a big part of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. What I did right now was enter in a headline that'll be the title of your page. Typically, that's the first thing that we should do. And I'm also going to select the correct category. And now it's time for me to select the criteria of my search. I want to pull in all active residential homes in Colchester. So I'm going to select the correct town. And you'll notice that as I selected the relevant criteria, the number of listing matches adjusted. Maybe I also want to pull in rentals as well. Then you'll see that update. But I only want active residential homes for sale in Colchester. And that's the extent of the criteria I'm going to select for today. You can get really, really granular if you want to. If you only wanted to pull in, Colchester homes with a specific lake, you could do that. If you wanted to only pull in Colchester homes with a smoke detector, which they should all have, you could also do that. So there's a lot that you can do here, but I'm gonna go ahead and save all changes. And there we go. I've got a recommended search. I am going to go back to the main recommended search page because I want to make sure that this new category shows up on my home page. So I'm going to select this button under the sidebar column, and that should, when I go back to my website, prompt the new category to show up. So there we go. I've now got search by town, and I've got my new recommended search there, giving people more option for what to look for, and that's awesome. One quick tip, maybe I want to make search by town the first thing that people see. It's really easy. I'm just going to move this up in the move column. Now that I refresh and go back down, search by town is now showing up first. I can change this every day if I want to, once a week, once a month, whatever I want. So giving you guys a few more tips and tricks on what you can do in the back end of your website. And I'm actually realizing that I did not optimize this recommended search. So I skipped over the SEO tab here, And I really want to make sure I fill that out.
I was about to say, that's a good catch, Dahlia.
And you know what? I actually did my job earlier. I actually wrote this down. So I am good to go. Save all changes. And that there is a quick tutorial on recommended searches. The next thing we're going to go over is how to create an area info page. Again, this is a great way to showcase your local knowledge, your local expertise. It doesn't need to be specifically related to real estate. You could include market data if you wanted to on the area info page, but it could also be something a little bit broader. So including information about local schools, great places to eat, things to do. That's the kind of information that people appreciate. So I'm going to go to the Pages tab, and there's already an area info section or category that's been created. Now, if I wanted to create a new category, say I'm working on pages that are all about market data, I would maybe create a separate market data category. But if I wanted it to all appear under the area info section, that's what I would do. So I'm going to create a new page. And this looks kind of similar to the last recommended search page. This content editor isn't going to change throughout the site. One quick tip is to always do your work outside of the back end of your website in a Word doc, in a Google Sheet, just so in case, maybe you lose Wi-Fi connection or something wonky happens, you've got your work saved elsewhere and you don't have to worry about having lost everything that you've already done. So I am going to copy the information I wrote, and I'm going to put it in here. One thing I'm going to do is remove the formatting, and actually, let me remove that. A quick tip here is that you can paste your content directly from, maybe you did all your work in Word doc, or maybe you did it elsewhere. If you paste your content here, it will hold on to any formatting that you previously did, but it will update the formatting to fit with the website styling. So now that I've done that, it didn't paste everything with this bold text, and my links have also transferred. I'm going to also add in my headline, Colchester, Vermont area information. And I've selected an image I want to include on this page. So to upload an image, I want this image to be centered. I'm going to select this landscape icon. I'm going to go to the Upload tab and choose the file. I have already selected this beautiful sailboat picture, and I'm going to send it to the server. Once I do that, I can see that the image, I have got a quick preview of the image. The width and height, I'll check that once I hit OK. But first, I want to add in some alternative text. This also is related to search engine optimization, and it just it gives Google, any search browser, an idea of what the image is. This is also a great way to remain in compliance with the ADA or ADA compliance, American Disabilities Act. So quick. Alternative text does not need to be complicated. It just needs to give users an idea of what's on the image. So in this case, it'll be sailboat on Lake Champlain, and OK. All right, so the image looks pretty good, but maybe I want to make it a little bit bigger. I can if I want to. As I update the width, you'll see that the height also updates. But if I wanted to lock in the aspect ratio of the image, say it's a portrait or landscape icon, it will lock in that ratio so that any edits that are made to the image, it'll automatically adjust. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that, hit OK. And my area info page is looking pretty good. I've included a little bit about Colchester, about the education system in Colchester, recreation information, and then 5 things that you can do in this specific town. I've seen clients write area info pages where they have restaurant information specifically there, or maybe some stats about the number of homes sold in the past year. You can get really creative with this page. And again, I am going to, did I do my job? Nope, I did not already write my title override, but I'm going to update this.
While Dahlia is updating the SEO information, as she indicated earlier at the start of the area info pages, it's a really great way for you all to introduce potential clients to who you are. A lot of the information can be your local area knowledge, your market knowledge, really areas of focus in the area. Just a great opportunity to introduce, potential clients to who you are and what you value about living and working in your market.
All right. One quick note. This pipe that appears underneath the fields available just gives you a sense of how much more space you've got to work with. So now that I have completed that, I'm going to go ahead and save my page, and this is great. I did not select the category. I missed that. So learn from my mistakes. Make sure that you select the correct category. And now I'm going to make sure that the page, oh, I've got a question. Can you explain why you do the, yes. So the pipe that I included, or the little line, that there is to separate the what is on the page and also include my company name. We want to make sure that your company name is always available for Google, and when users are searching online, we want to make sure that they have no question about who you are and where you're going. So you'll see here, DSW included their company name. We've got Zappos also included their company name. Nordstrom did so, and they included the little dot there to separate their company versus kind of what they have on the page. But you're going to notice every single search result has actually shoes.com. It's kind of at the end there, but everybody's got their company name there. So that is why I wrote Dahlia Test, because that's the name of my company for now. I probably should have gone with Dahlia Real Estate, but went with Dahlia Test. So.
And I think one thing there is, a lot of people will use the vertical pipe. And so one piece here is consistency. So where Dahlia is building, the Colchester, Vermont page, and then there's the vertical pipe, and then there's her company name. The Burlington area page would be Burlington, Vermont, the vertical pipe, and then Dahlia's company's name. So same with you when you're working on your website. You just want to keep consistent, and I'd recommend that you keep formatting the company name the way that you have it appear on the website, the way you have it appear on Google My Business, really how you guys use your company name, just to be consistent across the board, because that is something that Google will recognize. They like to see consistency.
Yeah. You can use a hyphen if you prefer. I like to go with the pipe, which appears on the backwards slash, the same key as the backward slash if you're using a Mac computer. So now that I've created the page, I want to make sure that it is easily accessible for users. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the main navigation. To do that, I selected the Pages tab, and then I selected the Navigation tab here. On the left-hand side, I can scroll through and find every page on my website. And as I scroll through, I'm going to see there's the page I just created. So I'm going to drag that and drop it here. Actually, you know what? I want it to appear above the vendors tab on the main navigation dropdown. So I'm just going to drag and drop it above there. Also, Colchester VT area information, that's pretty long. So this pencil icon that appears, I'm going to click on that. And I think people will know that's all they need. So I've made the changes that I want, and I'm going to go ahead and save changes. Now that I go back to my home page, I'm going to reload, and I've got my Colchester VT page that is now available. Let's check it out, see if there's any information I need to change. Nope, it looks pretty good. Happy with my work. So that is how you create an area info page. We've added it to the main navigation. And up next, I am going to update my bio. So in the back end of my website, I've got this Agent Manager tab. On some websites, it might just say Agent. For mine, it says Agent Manager. It's the exact same thing. So I've got my entry. Let's just check out what that looks like. I've got kind of an old headshot. It's several years old. It's kind of grainy. I need to update that. So I'm going to go into my bio. I'm going to choose a file. I've got a much more recent one that actually looks like me now. So I'm going to open that, and I've got my new headshot. The last and most important step is to save. So I've got that now, and I also have a bio that I've written and want to add to the website. That's at the top here. I took some time to write it. Oops. Let's remove any formatting. And I'm going to update that. So now we're going to refresh. Got a new headshot. The cropping is a little wonky, so I might want to update that. We recommend using images that are sized 800 by 800 pixels. I can also maybe crop a little bit off the top of the image if I want to move it up, or just play around with the cropping there. But if I click through to my profile, my bio is now showing up. So if you really want to learn about me, read that quickly because I am leaving there. And I also have a coworker, Chris, who I want him to be able to upload or update his headshot, update his contact info whenever he wants. So I'm going to go over to Chris's profile. He has an account, so he should be able to go in and update, but I want to double check his permission levels. Yep, he can edit his own profile. So Chris, you can go ahead and update that whenever you would like. If Chris did not already have this selected, he would not have the ability to go to the Agent Manager tab and upload his own information. And to kind of give you a sense of what that looks like, I created a Webby webinar an agent on my team. And if I click here, I can see that he actually doesn't have a user account. So I want to create that for him. It's going to appear over here on the right-hand side for anybody who doesn't already have an account. It is important to have an email included. If an email is not included, they cannot have a user account. So I'm gonna go for the very creative password of password123 and update that. Now I'm just going to refresh because Webby Webinar now has an account. Gonna make sure that he can edit his own profile. Maybe I also want him to add testimonials. I can give him that permission level. Manager level permission will allow a user to access all leads. They can edit any page on the website. So that's something to consider. Maybe they're my right-hand person at the office and I want them to, do anything, create new pages, new rec searches, what have you, then I would give them manager level permissions. And I'm going to update the agent. And now Webby can go in and add a headshot, edit his cell phone, add in a bio, whatever Webby wants.
We had a great question on Tuesday, our last webinar, where someone asked about whether you write in first person or third person, which I thought was a really interesting question, and probably is more for the business to decide on the tone that you want to set and how familiar you want people to be, and maybe even the size of your organization. So maybe smaller operations could go more with first person. Or if there are several team members, writing in the third person definitely works as well.
I chose to write about myself in the third person, which is an interesting exercise.
Definitely.
Awesome. So I've gone through creating recommended searches, creating area info pages, updating your bio, headshot, agent level or manager level permissions. The last thing I'm going to go, or second to last thing I'm going to go through is how to refresh images on a website. So I have had this homepage slideshow image for a pretty long time. It's time to update that. This is one image that you are able to update whenever you'd like. There are images that you can update. There are others that you are not able to update. So for instance, on a home page, any image below the homepage slideshow that is not a featured listing, you are not able to update. So this image here, and this image here, those are images that if you do want to update, you'd have to submit a support ticket. Our support team can update those if you send in a ticket. But this one, I am fully able to update myself. So I'm going to go to the Pages tab, over to Slideshow, and this is where I would add in a new image. One thing to keep in mind is that you want to make sure to use a landscape icon or landscape image. And what I mean by landscape is not an actual image of landscape, but the actual format of the image. So something with a 3:1 aspect ratio. If you take a look at your desktop or maybe your phone, a TV, they're all a rectangle in a 3:1 aspect ratio. So that's what I mean by a landscape image, something that's in a rectangle. So I'm going to select add, and on my desktop, I went through and selected a couple of images. Let's go with this one here of a covered bridge, classic for Vermont. and it is uploading. Depending on the file size, right now my Wi-Fi has not been great. In our last webinar, I had kind of an issue with it. Nothing to do with the platform. It was fully my Wi-Fi. There we go. So and you know what? I want this image to be first now. So I'm going to hit submit. Awesome. Let's refresh. Same thing happened as last time. Quick tip, and your company name at the top, that will take you right to it. And you know what? I'm still having the same issue. So I'm going to delete it and upload it again. This happens sometimes, especially when you have had spotty Wi-Fi. It can be a little unreliable over here in the middle of Vermont. But I've got a question. Who do you recommend for stock images if you can't get a local photographer? Adobe Stock has a great selection of local photography. We have also used, other than Adobe Stock, Chris, help me out here. Who have we used as well?
Yeah, some clients will use iStock,
Yes.
but we found, definitely Adobe has a really good library to look through, and a lot of those images will be organized based on local areas, or if you want homes, exterior shots, interior shots, you'll be able to find that. You'll also be able to find lifestyle images, say families, or maybe children, or beach, golf. Obviously, a lot to choose from Adobe, and the search is good, and you'll be able to select an image and use it. You'll be able to download the original and then crop it as needed for the website.
Yeah, if you're really struggling, feel free to reach out to us. We can help out as well if you need an image. One thing I do want to make note, just because we get support tickets for the homepage slideshow, sometimes it uploads and you'll notice that the screen adjusts based on the image you're using. We can always help with cropping an image so that it stays consistent. We do encourage you to give it a couple shots, try cropping it, try cropping your images. If you're having trouble, that's what we're here for. And that kind of leads me into the last and final point on Ted's blog of the 5 things that you can do right now. So the first 4 were to create recommended searches, create area info pages, update your bio headshot, and refresh images. The last one was to contact us. We are all working remotely in our homes, but still fully reachable by email and by phone. Our phone calls are being sent straight to our cell phones, and we're here for you. So if you have any type of question, big or small, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. Yeah.
And Dahlia, if I might, just because we did talk about Adobe and selecting stock photos, you will get the image in a particular size when you download it. And Dahlia was speaking to the aspect ratio, that 3:1. It does vary website to website on our platform based on your design, but roughly from a pixel dimension, or the measurement, the width and height measurement of a web image, you're roughly looking at about 2100 pixels wide by about 700 pixels tall. And I reference that because the image you buy may be 5,000 pixels wide. And so you are going to have to scale it down, and you're most likely going to have to crop it. And so keeping that consistent size as you crop these images that you're uploading will help keep that transition nice and smooth as you go through the slider. Yeah. We also work with clients, throughout New England and the Eastern Seaboard and into Colorado. So obviously a lot of different markets. Some folks will be, 4 season. our clients in Florida may, experience sunshine and warmer temps, more so than we have in Vermont. So selecting images that are appropriate for your market. And of course, if it's New England, you can update them regularly throughout the seasons, or you can choose, if your area is a 4-season destination, you can keep those 4 seasons represented in the slideshow. So it's really up to personal feel and how you want to sort of portray your area, but definitely suggest using some aspirational imagery, photos that will help potential clients, potential home buyers, home sellers picture themselves in the area, or at least have the area feel very familiar. Now it looks like we might have a question.
Our website is newer. Did you assign each agent a password? So if it's a brand new website, no, we probably didn't assign each agent a password. But if I want to, so a little bit more there, we wouldn't have assigned agents passwords unless we had received a request to create accounts for everyone. In that case, we would have gone through and created some standard, probably first name 123 type of password that any agent can reset. But if you have manager level permissions, you can go through and reset anybody's password. So for instance, I want to reset Chris's password. I've opened up his profile. I'm going to select edit account. And if I scroll down a little bit, Chris has never logged on. But I have these 2 fields here, password and repeat password, where I can put in something, share it with him, and he can go ahead and log in. Once he does log in, he's going to have this my settings option where he could go in and change his password. I hope that helps, Elizabeth. Can you please show top of page? I lost you. I think maybe what you meant is the top of the page. Sorry, you meant so over here in the my settings portion here, if I click that, that is where I can change password. If I still didn't get the question, please let me know, but I think that's what you might have meant.
It's also too, agent manager that we're working in, there's the opportunity there to update your agent. Of course, we focused on updating your agent bio. Also under agent manager is the offices. So if you've added a location, you have a new office to add, or maybe you guys have moved, you would update your address in the office section there. Phone number is there as well for each office.
Yep. If I had an image of the outside, I could go ahead and select that. Let's find something. Pulled a bunch of pictures. There we go. That's my office. Update that. Got a question here. What is the sidebar that you checked under some of the searches you were editing? All right, so I'm gonna go back to searches. So this sidebar on the home page, this here is the sidebar. So if I want the category to appear on the home page, I need to make sure that the sidebar column here is selected. So for instance, I don't want Burlington real estate anymore. I'm going to scroll through, and Burlington real estate is no longer there. So I've got another, oh, the question was removed. I think it may have been from Lois. If you have questions, you feel free to put it back in, or something else that you need. If you joined a little bit late, let me know where you joined and can quickly go through any questions you have.
Yeah, I shared with Lois. I'll send her some detailed information after the webinar.
Even better. Awesome. Well, we do appreciate the time. I hope this webinar was informative, a little entertaining, and I hope it was worth your time. 1 hour with Chris and I. If you want to see more of these webinars, if there's something that you're particularly interested in, please do let us know. We're open to feedback, suggested topics. We can do it all. But if there aren't any other questions, maybe we'll let you guys go a few minutes early dismissal from USM webinar school.
Definitely. Yeah. And everyone, thanks very much for attending. I think, it's a really great time to try to cross some of those items off the list. As we discussed at the beginning of the webinar, as Dahlia said, we're certainly here to help everyone add the recommended searches. It's a really great way to add content to your site easily. These rec searches, we can take the links, you can share them on Facebook, you can get more visibility to these pages, which is great for the search engines. It also gives that opportunity from a user experience perspective, help someone get to the listings as quickly as possible. If for instance, that homes in your area are being, looked at, help them find those right homes by either amenities or maybe even by setting the search up by set the search up by price. Maybe there's a price grouping that's popular, and there's something on the lower end, there's something on the higher end, and maybe on the very high end. And if you can create those searches, it also helps from a search perspective with Google or other search engines. If someone's looking for houses in your area in a certain price range, then they'll all be grouped on a page, neatly and concisely for the search engine to crawl and see. So really a great way, easy way to add and share content, and also make it, a positive and easy experience for the user.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we appreciate you all joining us, and hope to see you all, hear from you soon.
Thanks, Dahlia.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.